Good morning, dear friend. Today is Wednesday, April. Before the day asks anything from you, before the house gets loud, before your mind starts sorting through everything that feels unresolved, I'm grateful you chose to pause here for a moment. Just breathe. Let this be a quiet space before the weight of the day settles on your shoulders again. Some mornings, the most faithful thing we can do is not rush forward. It is simply to slow down long enough to remember that we were never meant to carry everything by ourselves. And when it comes to family, that can be especially hard, because family is not only where love lives. For many of us, it is also where pain stays the longest. It is where certain words still echo, where tension can sit quietly for days, where distance can grow even between people who care deeply about each other. Maybe there is someone in your family you have been worrying about for a long time. Maybe there is a conversation that never really healed. Maybe there is a silence in your home that feels heavier than anyone wants to admit. And maybe you are tired. Tired of trying to keep peace. Tired of wondering how to make things better. Tired of carrying concern for people you love when you do not know what else to do for them. If that is where you are this morning, you are not alone. There have been quiet mornings when I did not have the right words either. Only a simple prayer in my heart, Lord, I cannot hold this together. Please hold them for me. So wherever you are right now, at your kitchen table, in your car, or sitting in the stillness before the day begins, stay here with me for a moment longer. We are not coming to God with perfect words today. We are coming honestly. We are bringing the relationships that feel fragile. The burdens we have carried too long, the people we love but cannot change. And before we pray, I want to remind you of something gentle but important. You do not have to carry your family by yourself this morning. And as we stay here in this quiet moment, I want you to remember something simple but easy to forget. You are not praying alone today. There are others in different places at different times of the morning who are carrying the same kind of weight in their hearts. Different stories, different faces, but the same quiet hope that something can be healed. And even though we are not in the same room, there is a kind of connection that forms when we turn our attention toward God at the same time, not something loud or dramatic, just a steady, unseen kind of unity. So wherever you are right now, let yourself be present here. Maybe you are holding a warm cup of coffee. Maybe you are already on the road. Maybe the room is still and you are trying to gather your thoughts before the day begins. You do not need to organize everything you feel before coming into this moment. You do not need to explain every detail. Just bring what is real. Bring the concern you carry for your family. Bring the conversations that didn't go the way you hoped. Bring the tension you don't quite know how to resolve. We are not here to force outcomes. We are not here to fix people. We are here to place what we cannot control into hands that are steady enough to hold it. And sometimes that is the hardest kind of trust, because it is one thing to trust God with the small, predictable parts of life. It is something else entirely to trust Him with the people who matter most to us. But this is where prayer becomes honest, not about getting immediate answers, not about changing someone overnight, but about gently placing the people we love into God's care again and again and again. So if it helps you take that step inward today, you can quietly say this in your own words, or even write it down as a reminder. God, I place my family in your hands today. I release what I cannot control, and I receive your peace, not as a formula, not to force anything to happen, but to bring your heart back into a place of trust. And if this moment feels meaningful to you, you can share it with someone who might need the same kind of pause today. Sometimes a simple prayer shared at the right time reaches further than we realize. Now, let's come quietly before God together. Heavenly Father, I come to you as I am this morning, not with everything figured out, not with a clear plan for how to fix what feels broken in my family, just with an honest heart. You see what is happening in my home in ways I don't always have words for. You see the tension that sits quietly in certain conversations. You see the distance that has grown between people who once felt close. You see the moments that ended in misunderstanding and the silence that followed. There are things I carry that I don't often say out loud, the concern that things may not change, the weight of trying to keep peace, the quiet question in my mind of whether I have done enough or done something wrong. And sometimes, without even realizing it, I carry the emotional weight of my family as if it were mine to hold together. I replay conversations. I think about what I should have said differently. I try to anticipate what might go wrong next, and it becomes exhausting. There are moments, Father, when I feel tired in a way that rest alone cannot fix. Tired of trying to understand everyone. Tired of holding on to hope when nothing seems to shift. Tired of caring deeply, but not knowing what else to do. You see the love that is still there, even under layers of frustration or hurt. You see how much I want things to be different, how much I want peace in my home, how much I want healing in the relationships that matter most to me. But I also have to admit I don't know how to make that happen. And that is where I am today. Not with answers, not with control, just here, bringing all of this to you. And as I sit here with all of this, Father, I am beginning to see something more clearly. I am not as in control as I often try to be. I cannot change someone's heart by saying the right words. I cannot force understanding where it is not ready. I cannot carry the outcome of every relationship on my own shoulders. And yet, I find myself trying to hold things together, trying to prevent what might go wrong, trying to manage emotions that are not fully mine to manage. But the more I try to control everything, the more I feel the weight of it. And maybe that is what I am slowly learning. That love does not mean taking responsibility for everything. That caring deeply does not mean I have to carry it all. There are limits to what I can do, limits to what I can fix, limits to how far my effort can reach into someone else's life. And instead of seeing those limits as failure, I am starting to see them as a reminder that I was never meant to be the one holding everything together. Because when I step back, even just a little, I can see that you have been present in ways I didn't always notice, in the moments that did not fall apart completely, in the quiet changes that took time to show, in the small signs of grace that I might have overlooked, because I was focused on what was still unresolved. So maybe this moment is not about fixing everything. Maybe it is about seeing more clearly what is mine to carry and what I need to place back into your hands, and learning slowly to trust you there. So today, Father, I choose to release what I have been holding too tightly. Not because everything is resolved, not because I understand how things will change, but because I am beginning to see that holding on the way I have been is only wearing me down. I place my family into your hands again, not as a final act, but as a quiet daily choice. I release the need to control how they respond. I release the pressure to say the perfect words. I release the expectation that everything should be fixed on my timeline. And I acknowledge what is true, even if it is difficult to accept. I cannot carry them the way you can. So I step back, not in indifference, but in trust. Trust that you see what I cannot see. Trust that you understand what I do not fully understand. Trust that you are able to reach places in their hearts that I cannot reach on my own. And while I wait, I ask for something simple, but not easy. Help me to let go without feeling like I am giving up. Help me to care without trying to control. Help me to stay open without becoming overwhelmed. If there is anything in my own heart that is holding on to resentment or quiet frustration, meet me there gently. Not to rush me, but to steady me. Teach me how to release, slowly and honestly, to place what I love most into your care, and to trust that they are not lost in your hands. So I give this to you again. The relationships I worry about, the outcomes I cannot guarantee, the future I cannot clearly see. I place it all with you, and I choose, even if only in a small way today, to rest. And as I let go, even just a little, I choose to trust you here. Not because everything suddenly feels clear, not because I can already see the outcome, but because I am learning that trust does not begin with certainty. It begins with choosing to lean on who you are, even when I don't understand what you are doing. You are not absent from my family. You are not unaware of what we are going through. You see the places that feel strained. You see the conversations that never quite land the way we hope. You see the patterns that keep repeating, even when we try to change them. And still, you remain present, working in ways I cannot measure, moving in places I cannot reach, holding together what feels fragile from my side. So I choose to believe that something is happening, even if I cannot yet point to it. That hearts can soften over time, that understanding can grow where there has been distance, that what feels stuck today is not beyond change, not because of what I can do, but because of who you are. Help me to trust you in a quieter way, not a forced confidence, not pretending everything is fine, but a steady trust that stays, even when nothing around me seems to shift. A trust that does not depend on how my loved ones act today. A trust that is not shaken by one difficult conversation or one discouraging moment. Remind me, gently, that change does not always happen all at once. Sometimes it begins beneath the surface. Sometimes it takes time before it becomes visible. And while I wait, help me not to lose heart. Help me to stay grounded, to stay patient, to keep showing up with a calm and steady spirit. Because even here, in what feels unfinished, I believe you are still at work. And that is enough for today. And now, before we move on with the rest of this day, let's stay here just a moment longer. No need to rush, no need to pick everything back up right away. Let what you have just placed into God's hands remain there. You don't have to carry it again the moment this prayer ends. Just breathe. Let your shoulders settle. Let your thoughts slow down, even if only slightly. Nothing around you may have changed yet. The same conversations may still be waiting. The same situations may still need to be faced. But something inside you can be different. You have taken a step back from what was weighing on you. You have acknowledged what you cannot control, and you have placed it somewhere safe. That matters more than you think. Peace does not always come from everything being resolved. Sometimes it comes from knowing you are no longer holding it all alone. So as you move into this day, carry that with you. Not as pressure, not as something you have to maintain perfectly, but as a quiet reminder. You can return to this place again, at any moment, in any situation. And for now, just rest here for a breath longer. You are allowed to feel this pause. Before we close this moment, I want to guide you through a few simple declarations, not as a formula, not as something you have to say perfectly, but as a way to gently align your thoughts with truth. If you are in a place where you can speak out loud, you can say these words with me. If not, you can simply follow them quietly in your mind. Take a slow breath and begin with this. My home is a place of peace, not because everything is perfect, but because God is present here. Say it again slowly. My home is a place of peace. God is present here. Now, let's release what we have been holding. I release my family from my need to control them. I place them into God's care. Again, I release my family from my need to control them. I place them into God's care. Let that sit for a moment. You are not giving up on them. You are trusting that they are not yours to carry alone. Now, speak this over the tension you have been feeling. The patterns in my family can change. Understanding can grow here. Again, slowly. The patterns in my family can change. Understanding can grow here. And finally, speak this over your own heart. I am not defined by what has gone wrong in my family. I am moving toward healing, one step at a time. Again, I am not defined by the past. I am moving toward healing. Just stay here for a breath. You don't have to force yourself to feel anything immediately. Let these words settle in their own time. Even a quiet shift is still a real one. As we come to the end of this quiet time, don't rush away too quickly. Let what you have laid down here remain where it is. You don't need to pick it back up as soon as the day begins. If this moment has helped you, even in a small way, you can take a simple step. You can write a short line in the comments, something like, God, I place my family in your hands today, not to prove anything, not to force a result. Just as a quiet reminder to your own heart that you are not carrying this alone anymore. And if you know someone who has been holding a similar weight, you can share this with them. Sometimes, a simple moment like this reaches someone at exactly the right time. As you move into your day, may you carry a steadier kind of peace. Not because everything has changed, but because you no longer have to hold everything together on your own. May you be given patience in the conversations ahead, clarity in moments that feel uncertain, and a quiet strength that does not come from pressure, but from knowing you are supported. May your home, even in its imperfect state, be a place where grace has room to grow. May what feels tense begin, slowly, to soften. May what feels distant find its way back, in time. And when the day becomes heavy again, may you remember that you can return to this place, to pause, to breathe, and to place it all in God's hands once more. Go into this day with a calm and steady heart. You are not alone.